It was a chilly Sunday afternoon, and Lynn was determined to cook a hearty meal for her family. She had decided on her famous chicken stew with noodles, a dish that never failed to please her husband George and their two sons, Tim and James. As she chopped the onions and garlic in the kitchen, the aroma of sizzling vegetables filled the air, making everyone's stomach growl with anticipation. Lynn's eyes sparkled as she thought about how much her family loved this dish and how it always brought them together on a lazy Sunday afternoon. George, who was lounging on the couch watching TV, suddenly sat up and sniffed the air. Something smells great in here," he called out to Lynn, his eyes fixed on the kitchen. Lynn smiled and replied, "Just getting started on lunch, dear. Chicken stew with noodles is on the menu today." Tim and James, who were engrossed in a heated game of video games in the living room, immediately paused their game and shouted, "Yay, Mom's cooking!" James jumped up from his seat and ran into the kitchen to give Lynn a big hug. "I'm starving, Mom," he exclaimed. Lynn laughed and handed James a glass of freshly squeezed juice. "Well, you'll just have to wait a bit longer for lunch, kiddo," she teased. As Lynn continued cooking, the house filled with the savory aroma of chicken stew, and everyone's stomach growled even louder in anticipation. George got up from his seat on the couch and strolled into the kitchen to give Lynn a peck on the cheek. "You know I love your cooking, Lynn," he said. Lynn blushed and smiled, feeling happy that she could bring her family together with food. Tim and James joined their father in the kitchen, and soon all four of them were chatting and laughing together as they waited for lunch to be ready. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Lynn called out, "Lunch is served." The family gathered around the table, and Lynn proudly presented her chicken stew with noodles. The first bite was met with oohs and ahs of delight, and everyone devoured their meal in happy silence. As they finished eating, George patted his belly contentedly and said, "That was the best lunch I've had all week, Lynn." Tim and James nodded in agreement, still licking their plates clean. Lynn smiled and hugged her family tight. This was what it meant to be a family, sharing meals together, enjoying each other's company, and making memories that would last a lifetime. The rest of the afternoon was spent lounging on the couch, watching TV, and enjoying each other's company. It had been a perfect Sunday, made even sweeter by Lynn's delicious chicken stew with noodles.